This is a pretty historical night for us. It's our first Division I Conference Championship and our first Division I postseason national tournament. So thank you for being here with us. There's going to be 64 teams on here. We're going to have to find out.
UTEP had a tremendous year this year, 26-4. They were the regular season champs of Conference USA. That should be a heck of a test.
Yeah, it'll be a great challenge for us. And I'll tell you, I'll speak for our team. We're just glad to know who we're playing. I mean, we've been working out for a week trying to figure out, what style of play that we were getting ready for. So now we know we've got a couple of days to get ready for the challenge.
We were just now speaking privately here, or on Periscope, to our few thousand friends, that yesterday the Southland Conference completed its conference tournament down in Houston, and Central Arkansas, which was the #1 seed but the #2 team in the league, wound up winning the tournament. That had to whet your appetite to get going in this league, didn't it?
Well, it was really exciting to cheer on our conference opponents and to watch how the tournament unfolded. But we know that we're not playing a conference tournament for another season. We don't care. I mean, we've known that we had to sit out for 4 years. Our goal all along this season has been to win the regular season and to be the Southland Conference representative in the WNIT, and that's the opportunity that we've been blessed with. And we're excited to give it our best shot.
64 teams in the women's NIT, the Women's National Invitation Tournament. And as you just saw, that there is a bracket, so it is predetermined. You win and you move on, and that's how it works. Coach, you have as we said, you've coached at multiple levels, including for many, many years now. This is, 13th year coaching Division I basketball. Can you speak to what it means to make the women's NIT?
It's a huge deal. It's a big deal, and the field of teams was released a couple of hours ago, and I mean, it's a power-packed tournament. And so, to have success in the WNIT, I mean, you've got to have your team ready to play. You've got to give it your very best shot. And this is a huge deal. And for a team in their third year of a Division I transition, to make it to a national tournament is it's a pretty awesome opportunity for our program. And it's awesome for us to be able to represent Abilene Christian in a national venue like this.
Well, just to give you an idea, the defending WNIT champion, you may have heard of them. UCLA. So those are the kinds of teams that ACU is now connected with. Give us a sense of what your team has been doing here for the last few days since you wrapped up this conference title at 17-1 and 26-3 overall.
Thank you. We spent last week, we worked out, we did a lot of recovery, did a lot of individual skill development. Took a couple of days off. We celebrated spring break Friday and Saturday. Our players were able to have a couple of days off, so we had a good spring break, and came back to work out yesterday and today. And now we can really focus on, what is our game plan? What do we need to do to be successful at UTEP on Thursday? And so I think we can probably expect a little more focus from our players, and our staff will be a little more focused as well, since we kind of know what we're up against.
I would imagine you've had some contingency plans in terms of travel, because the tournament begins on Wednesday. So you didn't know if you'd be playing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Do you already have an idea as to things like travel, like when you'll go?
Well, Coach Fallon's had a bus ready to go for about a week and a half now. We know there's a bus ready for us tomorrow, and if we decide to break up the trip, if we need to do that, we can leave tomorrow, we can fly out Wednesday. We'll just talk to our travel agent and see what they want us to do. But I give our players a calendar about 2 weeks ahead of time, so mid-February they know what March looks like, and our calendar only went through tomorrow, and because we really didn't know what was coming. So we've got a practice plan for tomorrow, and we'll just move forward. And the nice thing about being in a national tournament, you've got a travel agency to book your travel and all that, so Coach Fallon will be working closely with them, maybe even tonight, to start working out their travel plans. But it's going to be a fun adventure for us. And now everybody knows where we are. The whole community, the whole big country, you guys are on spring break, and we'd love to see some people carpool out and cheer us on and help us out at UTEP. UTEP does a great job getting home crowds, and so we could really use a lot of help. One of my first phone calls now is going to be to Art and Angie Marquez. Their family's all out in El Paso, so we'll get them in Granada and drum up some support out there. But we hope some Wildcat fans will decide to journey out there and cheer us on.
Speaking of El Paso, you have a player coming next year from El Paso.
Absolutely. I just got a text from her mother. Pam Herrera, 2016, she'll be a freshman for us next year. She's in El Paso. And we actually, last week, got our first 2017 verbal commitment, who is also from El Paso. So maybe there's a big-time reason, besides just this game, for us to head out to El Paso.
I like the way you think. Could be something bigger. Could be. We mentioned the Southland Conference tournament yesterday. Central Arkansas won it. Could you maybe speak to what it means to win a league like the Southland, which, now that the WNIT is out, the Women's Basketball Invitational field will be announced soon, and I would imagine that at least one, if not two, Southland Conference teams will make that. So multiple teams from the Southland playing postseason.
Well, my husband actually did some research last year after all the postseason tournaments were over, and there were only like 2 women's basketball teams in the entire country with 20 or more wins who did not go to a postseason tournament. And so that's kind of the magical number for us is, hey, let's get to 20 wins. And we got there, and we were like, hey, we've got so many more games left. Let's see how many victories we can pile onto this 20-win season. And so I think when you're looking at our conference, the teams that have 20 or more wins are going to be the ones that are looked at for postseason tournaments. And, McNeese is going to be probably the next one to be invited to the tournament. But it is difficult to win a regular season. I mean, you've got to be ready night after night. And for our team, this is one of the greatest group of road warriors I have ever coached. They went on the road and did some things that no other teams in the league could do. They won at Central Arkansas. We won at Stephen F. Austin. Won some really big games on the road, and then protected our home court, and we're undefeated at home this entire season. And so to win a regular season championship is a really difficult task. It's hard to do.
There were only 15 out of 349 Division I teams who had a better road winning percentage than ACU. ACU is one of a dozen teams in Division I that had a perfect home record this year, so you'll hit the road again. Now, there were 4 teams that made the WNIT from the state of Texas. UT Rio Grande Valley, which is down in Edinburgh, Texas, TCU, ACU, and UTEP. Just doing some map questing earlier. UT Rio Grande Valley to El Paso is farther than El Paso to San Diego. So we actually, by pairing them up the way they did, UT, RGV, and TCU, that's about 500 miles. From us to El Paso, about 500. The good news is, it's all interstate. All I-20. So a scant 1,000-mile round trip shouldn't be too much to ask for a team that's done all this for you. So how about a hand for Julie?